not working. Okay. So data is stored the way it enters. Well, it's like first in, first out. When you write a record, you can write in at the end. So key sequence, as the name says, it is going to be storing in key sequence. Data is stored in key sequence, in primary key sequence. Okay, in RRDS, it's a relative record data set. Data is stored relative to the previous record. So all records are relatives. Okay, they are like relatives. Data, okay, again data is stored the same way. Data happens at the end. Same way like ESDS. A lead data set, it's a dump of memory. Okay, dump of memory. Memory means volumes, dash D volumes or dash D volumes to store DB2. So DB2 will use LDS to store. Like how use IMSDB uses KSDS, ESDS combinations, etc. to store. DB2 will be subsystem store use LDS. Okay, this is used by only administrator. So in ESDS, unofficially we have a key which is relative byte address. In KSDS, the key is the value in the file. It's a primary key. And RRDS is called relative record number. Okay, and so it's relative record number. So every first record is will have RRN1, second record RRN2, thousandth record RRN10, and so on. That is the key. Okay, so in ESDS we do only sequential processing. Okay, I'll just write it in another here. Okay, so these are three keys. So RBA stands for relative byte address. It is never used for application programming. For application programming, we use only KSDS. So, okay, for example, if you take a book in olden days, initially they wrote in leaves, then they wrote in books. They wrote as a script. Okay, they wrote it as a script. Then they thought how to identify the script. Then they had page numbers. Then again they had faced difficulties. We cannot remember the page numbers. So they brought index. They went into index or topics, then went into the pages. Similarly, if you have a page number, book with a page number is similar to RRDS. Basically, everything evolved from manual. Okay, whatever we did manually. So RRDS is like a book with page numbers, without any topics or index. So every record is a record number 1, record number 2, and so on. So it cannot be used for random processing because we cannot remember the record number. Okay, we know the value. Suppose if you forgot your employee ID, you're going to HR, you're saying I don't forgot my employee number, can you retrieve? So HR is going to ask for employee name and then retrieve. But can you say my employee ID is in this record number in database? We cannot know. The record number keeps on varying. So we cannot remember also. So it's like that. And suppose if you take ESDS, it's just a page, if a book with a page without any page number or any index. And if assume a book with a index, okay, pages on index, it's nothing but a KSDS. Where if you are going to read sequentially, we just read all the pages top to bottom, one by one. And then if you are going to read, you are going to search something, we will be going to index first, locate the page number, come back to the pages and search it. That's what KSDS does. So these are the three types of Vsam files: ESDS, KSDS, and RRDS. So as far as components are concerned, Okay, this is going to have data component. This is going to have data and index component, and RRDS is going to have data component. The RRN will be stored internally. So this, as far as processing is concerned, for application programming, we can do only sequential processing. This is sequential and random, and this is just sequential. RRDS is never used because we cannot remember the record number. ESDS is used for log files. Okay, primary will be used for log files and any control files. For example, someone asked me yesterday and day before yesterday, how to identify the last invoice number. So you can either use *L if it's IMSDB, or if you can use select maximum of invoice number if the invoice number is a numeric field, or you can store an invoice. You can have a control file for the entire project. So the maximum number you can store in that file. So every time you generate any number, you first read the file, get the latest invoice number. From there you can just increment. This is also used in project, and we still use ESDS. Okay, so in ESDS we can do read and write. Here we can do read, write, rewrite, and delete. So we are not talking about RRDS; it's never used. So these are the types of Vsam files: ESDS, entry sequence dataset, and key sequential dataset. The data is going to store in key sequence. The RBA stands for relative byte address. So it's a number of bytes before the current record. For example, let's take an 80 bytes file, the number of bytes before the first record is 0. The RBA for the first record is 0. Okay, it's number of bytes before the every record. Okay, let's then assume it's a file of 80 bytes. For the first record, number of bytes before the file record is 0. For the second record, the number of bytes before the second record is 80. Okay, because for the second there's one record before that, and that record number of bytes is 80. So RBA for second record is going to be 80. So this is how we have to identify RRN. As far as RRN is concerned, for record number 1, it's going to be RRN 1. Record number 2, you can also do random processing using RRN. Using record number, it's never used. Even using RBA also you can use. It's never used. So KSDS is widely used. It's called as key sequential data set. We use IDCAMs to define the cluster. We call this as cluster. So we refer in JCL only with cluster, but it will have components internally. Okay, data and index component based on the type of file you are using. As far as Vsam file is concerned, it's a higher file management system. It is going to have a complex storage. Okay, it is going to have used -D. So -D is going to have volumes with volume serial number. So you are having DV, SD 1, 2, 3, etc. And volumes will have specific storage. And in volumes, we'll have Vsam files, which is going to have control areas, one or more control areas. A control area will be anywhere from 1 track to 1 cylinder. This is the usual standard. 1 track to 15 tracks. And a single control area is going to contain one or more control interval. Okay, and the control interval will contain one or more records. It will have free space. I'm assuming it's a KSDS. For ESDS, free space is 0. No free space is required. And records, free space, it is going to have record description field and control interval description field. So these are the fields which is going to be stored in CI. A record description field is going to contain the number of records in the control interval. Okay, for example, if you have a control area, if you have say control interval size will be in multiples of 512. Okay, multiples of 512. So 512, 1024, 2048, etc. For example, if it is 512 bytes, assume it's 512 bytes. So you are going to store say 100 bytes file. So in 512, suppose 10% is free space, 51 bytes will be free space. 10% is free space. 51 bytes. And 3 bytes and 4 bytes for RDF. RDF, record description field. This is control interval description field. Okay, RDF is going to contain the number of records in this control interval and for some more extra data. Okay, record description field. Control interval description field is going to contain the control interval size and some other control information. So if you take a control interval, it is going to contain one or more records. Free space optionally, but free space is mandatory for KSDS for insertion, for activity, for insertion activity. RDF and CIDF will be there. Okay, so if you take, I'll just write. So 51 bytes is free space, 10% of this. So if you take this count, it will be 58. So 50, if you minus 58, it will be 454. So in 454, we can store only 4 records. If it's a file is 100 bytes file. Okay, assume or 80 bytes file. If it's 80 bytes file, in 454, we can store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there will be remaining 54 bytes, which is unused. Okay, this unused space is the disadvantage of Vsam. Otherwise, Vsam has more advantages. It can be used in online, we can do random processing, etc. So Vsam file will be storing in -d volumes. Vsam is going to contain one or more control areas, and a control area is going to contain one or more control intervals. A control interval is going to contain one or more records, free space, RDF, CIDF. RDF stands for record description field, control interval description field. RDF is going to contain number of records. Here, the number of records is 5. The length is 80 bytes. This information will be stored in this 3 bytes in binary format. Similarly, here it's a control interval description field. It is going to have information about the control interval size, which is 512. A free space is required to insert for new future use. For example, if you're going to insert 2.1, it is going to insert here because records are stored in key sequence. So you have to insert here. So what it does, it is going to take free space and any unused space and store the data. Okay, it is going to, but generally we give free space such that at least one record can be inserted. So if it's 512 bytes, and if it is, say, if the length of the file is 80 bytes, so at least it should, if you give 20% free space, then 20% of this is 100 bytes, so 124 bytes, then at least one record can be inserted. So usually we give a free space in such a way, at least one record can be inserted. But if you keep on inserting a record, what happens? So in key record is going to be inserted in key sequence. What happens? There is no space, so it undergoes a split. That's called a CI split, control interval split. And when CI is full, and when entire CI is full, CI will undergo a split. That's called control area splits. We cannot get into detail, but you have to know what is a split. So can I take a screenshot? I'm going to rub this. Okay, let's see the splits. So when CI is full, it's going to undergo a split, and when CI is full, it's undergo a split. How the split happens is it's going to take the empty control intervals and move half of the records to that. But still, it undergoes a lot of splits. When the splits are more, what happens? There will be a lot of pointers. Okay, the record will be stored here and there. So when you do a sequential processing or random processing, performance will be low. So in order to, if the splits are high, performance will be heavily affected. So in order to bring the splits to zero, if the splits are becoming zero, then performance will be increased. Can you tell me how the splits will become zero?
CA should not be full, sir.
See, CA will be full. There is no control over that. If the splits are high, performance will be low. To improve performance, we do something called reorg. Have you heard about this reorg? Yes or no? Lavanya, Ritu.
Did not hear this word, sir.
Okay, okay. Yes, I ask an easy question. Yes or no? We don't have much time. So when I used to work with my manager, on-site manager, Verizon manager, I was a US manager, very brilliant guy, very good designer. He has designed plenty of good applications for AT&T. So you'll be asking questions. If you don't answer, you'll ask binary. So you should answer only yes or no, nothing else, and it should be immediate. So reorg. So for example, reorg is nothing. So for example, a Vsam file with lot of splits, with more splits. What it does, they do a I'm mentioning Vsam means KSDS. Okay, Vsam file I'll write as KSDS. So if you mention project, they refer to Vsam means KSDS by default. So KSDS with more splits will be taken a backup. How do you take backup of a Vsam to PS using which utility? IDCAMS.
IDCAM.
We cannot use Vsam in IB genre. Remember, we cannot use the Vsam in IB genre. We can use Vsam in IDCAMS and sort also, but sort is never used. So we take a backup. So suppose the 100 records are there. So 100 records will be stored. Then we delete and define KSDS, same KSDS. Then we load KSDS from PS. Same 100 records are back. Okay, this will be done in project, 3 steps or 4 steps, whatever. It can be done in 1 step also. Okay, but anyway, so this is first you are taking a backup of KSDS into a PS, deleting and defining a KSDS. Then from a backup, whichever you have taken the first step, you are loading into the KSDS. So what is really happening here? The same data you are storing again. Okay, so I have seen this in project. I got confused. I didn't have any training, so I don't know what is this they are doing. They're just copying and writing the same back, and they're doing very frequently now for all the files. This is called reorganization. Here splits will be 0. See, this we never know. I was in on-site for 16 years back, and there was plenty of Vsam files in the project, and there was a lot of performance issues. All the clients used to call and inform system is very slow. Then we introduced reorg. We increase the frequency of reorg. Okay, then drastically it improved, and then we did a lot of other changes also. We not only did the reorg, plenty of other things we did, and we improved the performance a lot. So reorg is nothing but reorganization. You are reorganizing the way the records are stored. If the records are inserted, it stores here and there. Okay, if it's a key sequence, suppose if you assume Vsam, Gmail is in Vsam, People are creating Gmail accounts every time, and every time the record has to go split because the records are not appended at the end. Records are inserted in the middle based on the alphabet. And then if there are plenty of splits, the processing will be low, I mean very slow, like sequential and random processing. To improve the processing in projects, they reorg all the Vsam files every week, sometimes every day also. Okay, what they do? They just take a backup of the file and delete and define and restore. So what reorg does? It is going to we are going to store the records again one by one. So when you store, it is going to store the records properly in key sequence. That is one thing. So why splits are happening? Because of insertion activity. When the records are inserted, so it undergoes a split because it is to store in key sequence. Apart from insertion activity, for example, delete activity, if you are deleting a record, that space will be unclaimed. It will be blank. So what reorg does? Reorg is also going to claim the space because it is going to store fresh one by one in a key sequence. So reorg is why reorg will be there in all the projects, very widely used. You will get confused why they are taking a backup and copying from the same backup. Basically, they are improving the performance. It is going to claim the space because of delete activity, and also it is going to store the record data again one by one properly in key sequence. So data and index is having a proper data so for sequential and random processing. Okay, if you want to see the list of, you can use listcat. If you go to projects, so listcat Vsam file, the entries all. You can also execute this in 3.2 also. Okay, so this listcat listing catalog entries of the Vsam file, because we go to project, you never know what is the key, what is the record size, what is the, so better to use listcat. So what is verify? Verify data set.
To check the integrity.
Check the integrity. It is going to close the all. I mean, in any file which is not closed properly. A file should be closed properly. For example, if you're opening a file, a window in a MS Word, and suddenly power is off. Okay, assume a PC, not a laptop. Laptop has a backup battery. PC doesn't, should need UPS. So Word is gone. When you log on again, a temporary file will be there. So suppose if it's a shared document and you open and editing and you haven't closed properly, so when you're trying to open it is going to fail. So what verify does? Verify is going to close the improperly closed file. Okay, and a Vsam file can have up to 123 alternate index. And you know about definition, right? Definition I'm not going to revise. If I'm going to define, you are going to define as indexed or non-indexed and numbered, right? Numbered or relative?
Numbered, sir.
Numbered. Numbered is RRDS. Linear means LDS. This is ESDS and this is KSDS. And the main parameters are defined as track. Okay, track is storage is important. Volume and storage class are not required for projects. And keys. Let me tell about keys. In keys, we have first one is length. Second is offset. So offset is nothing but starting position minus 1. So a KSDS can have multiple alternate index file. Okay, it's a different key sequence. If you are going to read the record, if you want to read the record in different key sequence, we create AX file. This also is used in online. We can create up to 123 file. So there are 3 steps involved. So define AX. Okay, and then define path and build index. Okay, in define AX, we are going to relate That's a relate keyword relating to the base cluster. Base means the main KSDS file. This is called as derived file. So base cluster, and this will have a different key. Okay, key will be different. So it's going to be having secondary key, length, and offset. And the record size is going to be different. Scroll down. What about record size? Okay, it got closed. What about record size? Can you tell me what about record size for AX?
Average size and maximum size will be there, sir.
How do you calculate maximum?
Maximum is 80 bytes.
What?
80, sir.
Alternate index key length plus base cluster key into 20 bits.
Right. Good. So I'll open Notepad. By the time this opens, I think we have to give rest to this. So at what time shall we wind up? Let me. So AX. There can be 123 AX files. A path is nothing but a path is going to link KSDX and AX file. So we are going to define AX file. So in define AX, we are going to relate to KSDS base cluster, and another important parameter is keys. Keys is going to be secondary key, and then offset for secondary key. Okay, primary key is in, and since it's a secondary key can be unique or duplicate, doesn't matter. And we have okay, record size. So record size, there is okay, average and maximum record size. How do you calculate the maximum record size for a alternate index file? So
First 5 bytes are the standard bytes plus
5 bytes
alternate key size.
key size, and then
Plus
number of possible
repetitions.
primary keys.
Yes, sir.
Into primary key length. So this is the formula, but you can give an approximate value. So 5 bytes is going to be having control information in binary format. It is going to contain what is the record key size of the secondary key, what is secondary key length, and how many primary keys have been stored in the same line. So it will be stored in first 5 bytes, then AX secondary key. For example, if primary key is say employee ID is primary key, 6 bytes. Employee name is secondary key, which is 20 bytes. So maximum record size for the alternate index file is, you have to use this formula, 5 plus 20 plus number of possible primary keys. How many, for example, if there are 50 people here, how many males can be there maximum? All 50.
20.
All 50.
Yes, sir.
Can be so we have to give maximum number of size. But anyway, you need not calculate at all. You can give an average size 100, 1000, 2000, 20,000, etc. But if you want, you can calculate, but have a reasonable number. The number of possible primary keys and primary key length. This so you have to calculate the maximum record size. Remember, we are using fixed block file, KSDS file. So the average and maximum record size for KSDS will be same. If we give 80, but here for alternate index, this is a variable record, because number of possible keys for a primary key may be many. Okay, for example, if you are going to take location, we'll take location. How many people are from Telangana? It will be different. How many people in Karnataka are different. Okay, similarly, so we have to make sure what is the maximum number, that number you have to give here. So, and we are going to define a path file, and then we are going to build index. Build index is similar to repro. Repro is like meaning reproduce. Repro is going to reproduce data from input to output. It is going to load the data. So input to output, it is going to load the data. We can use repro for IDCAMS repro for loading PS to Vsam, Vsam to PS, PS to PS, Vsam to Vsam. All combinations are possible. But PS to PS, we use only IP general. We don't never use IDCAMS. For handling Vsam files, we use only IDCAMS. And we after this defining the alternate index, we define path and then build index. In the building index, apart from loading data in the build index, the input is going to be your KSDS file, because from KSDS we are loading to AX. Output was going to be your AX file. So when you're loading input to output, apart from loading, it is going to sequence the data in a new secondary key. Okay, it's going to have a new key sequence. That's why it's called build index. Apart from loading the record, it's going to index also. Okay, this is something about alternate index. As far as the Vsam file is concerned, when you're using in the program, we are going to use access. Recording access organization is what? In program, organization is what? The organization is indexed. Access mode is going to be sequential or random
or dynamic.
Dynamic. You have to give a record key and make sure you may declare the full record. Otherwise, you are going to get SOC 4 or some file status 39, etc. So this is you can say use a select statement, file status, declaration, etc. And you can start using the Vsam files in your program. So if it is sequential, you can do only sequential processing. Random means you can do only random processing. Dynamic means you can do both sequential and random. Okay, so there are only four commands, file operation commands: read, write, rewrite, and delete. All are very simple commands. Read file, write record, rewrite record, and delete file record. Delete file name space record. How do you? If in a dynamic mode, and we can give in addition to all these four commands, we can use a start command. Start command is a command to place the cursor wherever you want. This is also an interview question. How do you place the cursor in the first record? You can use start command, start file name, key greater than or equal to spaces, or key greater than or equal to low values. So what it is going to do, it is going to place the cursor in the first record. So only here in Vsam file we can reposition the cursor whenever you want, but not in PS file. In PS file, the cursor moves in a forward direction, and then when the end of file is reached, you have to close the file. But in KSDS, in Vsam files, you can place the cursor whenever you want. You can reposition the cursor by using start command whenever you want. Okay, and remember in a program we never close or open the same file more than once. You open once and finally we close. Okay, we never open and close the same file more than once. Another thing is, if you read a record, we should never read the same record again. Okay, so IO call should not be repeated. So once you read, if you are going to use further, you have to save the record in working storage section. Okay, in a dynamic call, you said we can do read sequential and random, right? How do you know which is sequential? For example, so is it a sequential or random read? Assume if you assume you are given access mode as dynamic, you are giving a read file. Is it sequential or random read?
Both, sir.
How can we read both?
Means from a particular record, first we'll skip from which record we want. We'll be starting there, and the cursor will be placed there.
How this is going to read both? It is going to do either sequential or random. How can it do both simultaneously?
Not simultaneously. First, we will give the start command so that it will go to the particular. It will start from the top and it will do the random read, then followed by the sequential. Next, sir.
Still, I'm not clear. You're saying forget about start command. I'm writing read file name. Is it sequential or random? Is going to, for example, okay, I'm having this record 10, 20, 30, 30, 40, 50. 5 records. Okay, this is the key. From just hold on. Just hold on. So suppose there are 5 records like this, and if you just give read file name, is it?
Sir, is that sequential, sir?
Random, sir. Only once it will read.
Which record I will read? Random means
First record, sir. Because we are not giving end of the file, no, sir.
I mean, some people gave correct answer, and some people. I think Sana, you answered right.
Yes, sir.
What you said? You said read random.
Random, sir.
Okay, read random means it is going to search based on the key. And what Sana
Based
said
on
is correct. What Sana said it is correct. It's a random read based on a key. Based on which key? What is the key now? What is the value in record key?
we are not specifying, we are not accepting or moving, sir, so it will take first record, sir.
See, we are not accepting or moving. That is what I said is correct. If you are not accepting or moving something, what will be the data?
First key, sir, 10.
See, if you are not accepting any value in the key, take a notebook. You are not writing something. What will be the data in the book? Notebook.
Empty.
Empty. So it is going to search for with empty record key. So a record key is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So it is going to fail. So record not found. What is the record not found file status? Record not found.
23.
23.
23.
Record found means what?
0.
0. Then what is sequential read? If you are giving read random. So you have to make sure you move value. Move value to key. Whatever Sana said is correct. We have to move to value to key. If we don't move value, it is going to search based on a blank. Okay. So how it is differentiate? Based on the read command, because in dynamic process it is going to do both sequential and random. So this is read sequential. If you see read file name next record in dynamic mode, it's nothing but read sequential. For example, if you give access mode is sequential, and even if you give read file name, it is going to do sequential processing. Okay, but in dynamic processing, dynamic access mode, since we can do both sequential and random, based on the read command, it is going to decide whether we are going to do a sequential or random processing. So here it is going to be random processing. If I write this, which is the first record, it is going to read. Which is the first record? This record, right? And this has to be done in a loop. So, and you are going to get end of file is file status 10. Understand this. Understand this difference. The read random and read sequential. And another thing, very, very important thing. Whenever you open a file, okay, if you define a KSDS in a raw file, we can, if you want to write a raw file, you have to use open output. Okay, a KSDS file, after define, if it's empty and first time use, you have to use in program. If all open modes in program, first time use, you have to use open output. And if it's empty or non-empty, empty already used. I'll write already used. Already used but empty or non-empty, you have to open in IO mode. So this is a very important difference you have to know. Probably you would have used this in output mode, right? In your training, but we never open in output mode in projects. Okay, in projects they do, they define a file and they initialize the file. That's one thing. Second, or they write a dummy record. Write a dummy record and delete the same record. This is very common practice in many projects. So when I define a file and define a KSDS file, this is very common. Writing a dummy record and deleting same record. You will get confused why they are writing a dummy record and deleting the same record. Okay, this is to initialize the file. So if you are going to initialize the file, okay, I'll remove this. So this will be very common in projects. Because once you write and use it and delete the same record, it is already used file. So all the programs in projects will have only IO. Okay, you will never see output mode. You will see either input mode or IO mode. You will never see output mode in projects. This is a very important thing you have to understand. In IO mode, you can do all the file operations: read, write, rewrite, and delete. Okay, these, probably, okay. What I will do, I just copy paste. This one is fine. Online index you may not be using at all in projects. There may not be any AX files, but Vsam will be in plenty. Will be there for sure. I'll just store it here. So based on the read command, system is going to do whether it's a random read or read sequential. Okay, it's like GU and GM. So here, even you would have seen in IMSDB, when the data sets are first created, the Vsam data sets for storing the database were first created, we'll be using LS, load sequential. We will not be using processing option A. Even processing option A we can insert. But processing option A can be used if the file is already a database empty, but it is already used. Okay, it is initialized or a dummy record is written and deleted. This will be done in projects. Apart from that, I don't think there is any major issue in handling Vsam files. Okay. So what are the other status codes? If you're writing a record, what are the status codes you're supposed to check? Writing a record in KSDS. Probably you wouldn't have checked any status at all. Code to be checked. What are the status code to be checked? 0 means what? Write successful. Anything else?
Duplicate.
What? Duplicate. Duplicate is 22. Duplicate record 22. Probably you didn't have duplicates much, so we may not be checking at all. This is also very important. These are status codes you have to remember. 0 and 10 for sequential read, 0 and 23 for read random, and 0 and 22 for a write record in KSD.